Today you get to come with us as we summit Helena Peak. Join us as we bivvy in the rain and see the magnificent and controversial Castle Mountain from above. We will also tell you about an unknown Easter egg that we discovered in our next video. From Helena Peak, you can see into Kootnay National Park, look down on the Chateau Lake Louise, and see the back of Cascade Mountain that towers over the town of Banff, Alberta. For a written printable trail description, you can follow the link below. Built on an old fire road, the trail to Rockbound Lake starts up the Silverton Creek watershed from the highway via 3 long switchbacks. At about the 5.5 kilometer mark, the fire road ends and the trail continues to Tower Lake. A small headwall separates Tower Lake from Rockbound Lake. Note that camping at Rockbound Lake is prohibited, but with signs of road campsites all around, it leads me to wonder why Parks Canada hasn't handled this problem by opening a few controlled sites in the area. So, welcome to Rockbound Lake. We are heading up onto the head wall tonight and hopefully summiting Helena and Castle, and there's a few in Castle, but turned out to be a lot more snow than we expected, but them's the breaks sometimes. Once at Rockbound Lake, skirt the lakeside to the right, ascending a large scree slope to the east. At the top of the scree slope, you'll cross to the left, gaining a lower headwall above Rockbound Lake. As usual, the last kilometer of this route delivers the best views. It's my opinion that all the best views begin at treeline, and that beauty curve only accelerates as you ascend beyond. Here you'll find a large and obvious trail ascending a knoll in front of you to the north. It's important that you always purchase a backcountry pass to stay aware of any restrictions in the area you plan to visit. Backcountry bivvies are generally discouraged by the parks, but are a requisite part of the approach to many backcountry objectives. They restrict bivvies to non-vegetated areas only. The key is to remember to be respectful of the space we share, leaving no trace of your passage. Campfires are strictly prohibited in the parks, except for in designated fire pits in established front country campgrounds. It's always best to contact Parks Canada before every trip, as conditions can change and information about routes and access to areas can become stale very quickly. Yeah, this pot is pretty small.
It is, isn't it?
We may need to
all of those pots are
eat separate or eat in batches. For dinner we packed in chopped cabbage and ground pork. For short trips, I always freeze my meats and store them in insulated foil bags. This can allow them to last up to 2 or 3 days before reaching dangerous temperatures. The cabbage was to be cooked in the fats released from the meatballs, but the pork turned out to be more lean than we expected. Oh, weird. There isn't any oil left.
Now, do you need to add some water?
I probably will, because there's less oil left over than I thought there would be. Adding some water allowed us to steam the cabbage rather than frying it like we had planned. We brought some rice, but usually find that our eyes are bigger than our bellies when planning meals, so we decided to save it for later that night if we found ourselves hungry. I'm a fan of running off of fats for fuel, so I usually look for ways to reduce calorie-dense carbs. It's not for everyone, but I prefer the feeling of burning fats as fuel at higher altitudes after discovering some studies that suggested those calories used less oxygen when burned. Nerdy science aside, fats are generally more calorie-dense per gram, making them a great source of energy for those concerned about the weight of their backpacks. My stove is an MSR Dragonfly that I bought when I was still in my teens. It's a solid, lightweight, and reliable stove that can burn pretty much any fuel. Today we are burning white gas as it does a good job at altitude and is easy to obtain in Canada. The only maintenance it needs is to be pumped up while cooking to keep the fuel pressure strong. Its strength is that it can be turned down to an extremely low simmer. Once the cabbage had begun to soften, I added granulated garlic and some Hawaiian black salt before adding the meatballs back in.
Really looks good.
Yeah, it should be good. Lots of pork.
Is that really?
Yeah, those meatballs. And they're tasty too.
That's good. That's good. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No, this is pretty cool. Right here. You ought to come over and just kind of.
Yeah, I think I'll join you.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, no, that's where it's at, that's for sure.
It must be. It's one of those terrain knobs. It's probably that one that a lot of people go to. But that one and the true summit, which is back there, is there. There's only about 40 meters difference between the two.
Right now, Marilyn's thinking, I'm so glad I didn't go.
I know she will be.
Looks like someone's painted it black.
It does. It does. It doesn't look this way on the other side.
Yeah.
It's different. You don't get that dark black. It's more dramatic on this side, actually. Well, the other side's dramatic, but this is darker, more ominous looking.
I tell you, not much can beat this view and eating good food.
I know. That really is. It doesn't get much better than this right now.
And most of the world will never experience it.
No, I have no idea. You could go to a nice restaurant and not have anything that good. You really couldn't. That's really good.
Actually, we kind of stole this one from my favorite restaurant, Continental Treat.
Oh, really?
They have cabbage a couple different ways, and man, sure gave me a different perspective of cabbage.
That sounds really good.
Good idea on this bush chair, though.
It is. It's nice. It's really nice. In fact, if you had to bivouac here, this would be a good place to roll up right in here.
The sun's sneaking in down there.
Yeah, it is.
With all the snow, I'm wishing I brought pants.
Did you bring no pants at all? Really? I thought you were just being kind of tough.
Well, priorities.
Yikes, Eric. How many meatballs was that we ate?
There was 8 in total.
we ate quite a bit, really.
Although, when we eat those,
Yeah.
Maryland does it 4 per person and it's never enough.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always left wanting more.
Oh, but that's another. It could be just because they taste nice too.
No.
You know, no reason to make a pig of yourself.
There's always a reason to make a pig of myself. Don't tell me what to do, Paul.
And I got a ramen as well.
Kua was the name given to this mountain by the Siksika Native Americans, also known as the Blackfoot. In 1958, James Hector gave it the name Castle Mountain, and the first known ascent was made in 1884 by Arthur P. Coleman. The controversy behind Castle Mountain began with a name change in 1946. Prime Minister Mackenzie King decided to honor the World War II U.S. military general Dwight D. Eisenhower. This change was met with a small amount of opposition from the public that grew over time. By 1979, that opposition peaked when the Alberta government reinstated the name Castle Mountain, initially given by James Hector. To continue to honor Mr. Eisenhower, however, the southernmost tower was named in his honor. The real irony in all of this is that the mountain was first named Kua by the Siksika long before European explorers arrived. Perhaps that is the rightful name that should be used and recognized today. At the top of the knoll, the trail splits 3 ways. First, across the upper head wall above Rockbound Lake leading to Castle Mountain. Second, straight ahead across the basin of the glacial platform to the pass between Helena and Castle. And third, to the right up towards Helena Peak via Helena Ridge. Since the trail was still covered in snow, we ascended the scree slopes under the Helena Ridge line, cresting the ridge and traversing to the low spot between the ridge and Helena Peak. From there, a braided trail forms again and is easily followed to the summit. So, we're at the summit of Mount Helena in Banff National Park, Canada. We're doing a Summits on the Air activation. You can kind of see Paul back there connecting to people from Kansas, Quebec, California, all from the summits of Canada. Actually, I'm just noticing we kind of have our own painted ridge right there. The colors on that ridge are actually kind of cool. That is Rockbound Lake below. You can see below that another little lake. You can see the stream down the valley. You can see the highway. I'll zoom in for you there. And you can see just over that range in the distance is Cascade, and behind that is Banff, the town site. Castle Mountain is right there. Storm Mountain and the road to Kootnay National Park is right there. Spectacular drive if you've never made it. And if you look way down there, you can see Chateau Lake Louise. Mount Temple actually just poked out of the clouds. You can see Eiffel and Hungaby, Fay. You can see lots of stuff. Anyways, we will leave you until the trip down. But thanks for joining us. Now down there is a great big pile of rocks. We don't know what they're for. We thought it was the summit pile when we were approaching the summit, but then we realized it's quite a bit lower than the summit, so you can probably see him back there. I'm going this way down here, but yeah, there it is. You can see what I'm talking about. Turn this around. So I don't know if it's like something someone put together for the fun of it, but it like has benches and stuff. Here it is. Actually, there's a cable here which tells me there's probably some kind of a stash, and I'm pretty sure that's either... Some may call me a tease, but what I found was even a bit surprising for me, so I thought I would share it in next week's video. Stay tuned to explore this discovery and to find out how far we were able to communicate with Paul's ham radio.